Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am back with your regularly scheduled Age of Mythology content. In the left-hand corner of the map, playing his 2,300 rated Huitzilopochtli, the highest rating, I think, in Age of Mythology history. It is Keto, Severo, Jones, Bones, Malone. Can we make that nickname any longer? I don't think it's possible. It's been a hot minute since I've checked out any Keto gameplay. I'm excited to see what he's going to be coming up with here on this auspicious of occasions. His opponent today in the red color playing as Tsukiyomi. It is Vega. I don't know a whole lot about Vega, but let me just run down his current statistics, what he's been up to, and all of the other good stuff. He is currently rated 1940 with a highest elo of 2,000. He hails from Italy, and he is in the GDM clan. So there you go. I don't know much about him. He's a very, very strong player. He can take games off the best of them. And one thing here that I'm noticing from Keto is he's not playing on his Bones account. When he is on his Bones account, if we have a little look-see, when he is on his never mind. I told a hot fib. Keto, Severo, Jones, Bones, Malone has been overtaken by Mosca. Mosca is now the highest rated player ever at 2314. He has 4 more rating points than Keto. There you go. Little known factoids. I lied, but I didn't realize I lied, so it wasn't really a lie. I just didn't know what the truth was. Okay. Anyways, he's not on his Bones account, which means he's not going for what some might call abuse. I call the meta. He is not going for the early Huitzilopochtli rush. This has been nerfed several times over. I played against it the other day. And to be honest, I don't think it's that big of a deal anymore. Maybe it is for some civs. I don't know. But for other civs that it might have been an issue for before, it's no longer an issue for. So yeah, that's the story I'm running with, and we'll see what Keto is going to be able to come up with. He does go for a very early lumber outpost, a Kalpuli here. He's going to be grabbing himself the gold one here as well, the craft workshop or whatever it's called. And the one thing he hasn't done is he hasn't dropped the Kalpuli on the boars, which means he's losing out on 15% boosted gather rate here. For the added bonus of what? I'm not sure, but this is obviously a Keto special. He is trying different things, and we'll see how it's going to go. On the flip side here, Vega respecting the Huitzilopochtli to some degree, advancing at 3 minutes and 45-ish seconds here. You do have to remember that the classical age for Tsukiyomi comes in 15 seconds faster than everyone else, and he does unfortunately kill that boar very much so outside of his base there. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but a bit unfortunate. But he's going to be in the classical age nice and early. He's going to be able to slap down some buildings and be ready to deal with what Keto's going to throw at him. Now, let's take a quick look at the relics. Both players have not really prioritized relics in this game. It's a little bit surprising. We have been seeing this become more and more a trend. As I've been watching some of the tournament games and the high-level games, it seems to be what people are doing a lot of at the moment. Skulls of the Serapes, Tusk of the Iron Boar over here for plus 10%. Over onto this side, we have Bone Shards of Miklan for an extra 2 favor back. And then on the bottom side, this Fatal Fari's Sledge there. As Vega is going for a town center here. This is an absolutely wild decision. Not only, I mean, to some degree it's wild. He does see a 4:30 advance time from Huitzilopochtli, but this is sort of like seeing a 4:30 advance time from Norse. These warrior priests are able to be out and be across the map and be hitting you directly when they hit the classical age. This is a ridiculous disrespect for the Huitzilopochtli, but Keto is playing his own game here. Keto is like, no, we're just going to chill in our main base. He's getting a whole bunch of gold in. He's getting a whole bunch of wood in. I think he's actually going to be looking for his own second town center here. He's only got the one war hut. He's not spamming super fast. This is what some might call in the top level, like the safe approach to playing a 2 town center game, where you're just basically playing around the fact that your opponent can potentially do some shenanigans here as the rabbit does run straight past those villages, sees the town center is up, and panic surely comes through here. We will see Wings of the South coming in for Keto. Keto now can decide, all right, does he go for the town center? Does he go for more buildings? He's going to drop another war hut here. He does have Wings of the South, so his units are going to be very, very quick. His opponent, however, does have the the long-range Yumi Archer, which can be very, very strong against the Spearman, but also pretty good against the Talmani Archer. Of course, once the mass comes in, it's not going to matter too much, especially with 5s. Actually, I don't think the Yumi Archer are going to have that much of an advantage here. You might get off one volley of free damage with the Yumi Archer before the Takiwa Archers are in range to start getting damage done themselves. So with that 5 speed. So I think that's kind of a big deal here. Is this wall tempting to come up here, and Keto does say, I can't break that one. Let me come around this way. At the very least, break this wooden gate, push you off this hunt. Of course, Vega could and probably should drop New Moon onto the watermill here. This is a 2TC special. Made somewhat popular by, I don't even know if it's made popular, but done by Divine. And I think it's the correct analysis of the situation. If you play 2TC, you don't want to greed for, like extra, like free armory upgrades, right? Or free temple upgrades or something like that. You want to basically just ensure that your villagers don't die. And that means you get as much extra income as you possibly can from your second town center. And that basically pays for your upgrades anyways. So it's just the better approach if you're on 2 TCs. But Vega not going for this. Is actually going to grab himself the watchtowers here as well. Makes sense as his opponent is being pretty aggressive here with the archers. There is an angle to attack this gold mine from over here, however. As a little bit of a cost analysis here. The Takiwa Archer 5.6 damage per second. Yumi Archer 5.3 damage per second. Pretty close. The Takiwa Archer is way cheaper, way faster, and yeah. So you might see the Yumi Archer getting a little bit more DPS off than the Takiwa Archer, but because of the one free shot that it should be able to get off. But in reality, that's not really that big of a deal. Now we will see Coatlicue. I'm still I still need to do my studying on the Aztecs, but I'm getting there. Market coming up for Keto. He wants this heroic age. He's got himself Blood Pact. This is a, how do I put this? This is a stock standard. A stock standard for Huitzilopochtli, and it is a terrifying thing to play against for any Civ. There's the only god that has an answer for this to actually stop it from happening completely is Zeus. Bolt, the blood-pacted unit, right? But no one else can really stop this. Unless I'm missing... Actually, maybe the Aztecs can with their with Purge. Purge is an answer for sure against the blood-pacted thing. But yeah, you're not going to be able to stop it. You're going to lose a town center. It's not... I don't actually think it's that big of a deal. The thing you have to be very mindful of is the fact that your villages are what matters there. If your opponent is going one town center all in and you lose a town center, it's not that big of a deal. Losing the villages is the big deal because that's where you had your advantage. Just this villager comes around and he's going to be looking to drop some walls. The Kimichin spy is in for a little bit of dart throwing, and Vega will say, excuse you, that there is what I like to call free Bushido. I would like to take that. I will claim that. A whole bunch coming in and a dead Kimichin spy as the walls will come up over onto this side. Now, Keto ready to hit his all in at this point. We'll see how it's going to go. Now we'll have the Okpactli infusions coming through. We'll have the medium war hut soldiers coming through. We'll have the ballistics on the way as well. As the Ayotochtli is going to wander across the map. And the big question is, what do you actually go for here? Do you kill this town center? Do you kill this town center? I kind of like the idea of trying to prevent these villagers from running from this position and hitting this one, but really smart from Vega. That's what makes a top player a top player. I'm so wrong. There is an answer. There is an answer inside of Fujin. Oh, this is genius. This is genius from Vega. Absolutely. There's a timing here as Fujin will come in. There is a timing here. I don't think there's enough time. It's coming in so fast. The Tejipla is on the way. The villagers up here putting farms down. Hello? And now the Atochli going after this. Of course, you need to ensure that you force the Blood Pact because guess what? This unit here is not going to care about anything here as Fujin is now in, and I imagine he will still drop this onto this side. No, he's not going to. Of course, he wants to save it for the Blood Pact, I guess. I don't know. Villagers are going to bail out. They do not have their upgrade for survival equipment. Town center is done. Yes, Vega has his heroic age. He's going to be able to New Moon, the armory. Again, I reckon he probably would have had the extra resources from from hand axe, from husbandry in for free in order to basically afford the armory upgrades for free here as well. Or not for free, but be able to afford the upgrades. It would have made up for it. But nonetheless, the Huitzilopochtli Tejipla is in now, and this is going to be looking for a little bit of damage in onto this position. He does manage to hit one villager. That's going to make a bail for it to the tower. Over onto this position now, moving there. We've got a castle up over here as Vega. He is very much in front on villagers. So this early second town center play, greedy or not, you be the judge of that, has resulted in a very sizable villager advantage. A very sizable villager advantage. Okay. The other thing to think about here is also Smiting Gust to deal with Blood Pact, but Swampland to deal with Earth Monster here makes a lot of sense. And there goes the New Moon onto the armory. He's got his Naginata Riders in the main base for some reason attacking the town center as the Thalmani Spearmen will come out, and that will be probably enough here to actually deal with those Naginata Riders, especially with the help of the town center, though Vega is just sitting in here tanking it up like a beast, but he gets in and gets out, takes a lot of damage. That's obviously a good trade for the Thalmani Spearmen there, even though he lost a couple of them. He kills off a bunch of those, and on the retreat there as well. Meanwhile, into the main base, the units charging it. Swampland gets dropped down. I don't like that usage of Swampland in the slightest, as Keto just says, no worries, I will pull back. This is fine. The Ondamush are trying to take out the Atochli for the time being. Then he pulls back in onto this side, and we'll see where to next as Vega down onto the bottom side. I actually don't think it would be... nah, he's got to spam units. I was about to say I don't think it would be a bad idea to try and grab this town center, but he's got the castle up. Just spam units, get to 175 pop, and then look for the town center. Has to be the correct play here for Vega. The other option would be to try and get a Mythic Age off and just click the God Power to kill off all these units as the Atochli comes in, and Smiting Gust is prepared here. The fact he's not using it, there he goes, was very confusing to me. Gets sent flying. All the units go away. Blood Pact gets 0 value here. I love this defense. I didn't think about this at all. I love this find from Vega. Keto obviously did not consider it either, but also you have to be thinking, well, what do I do then? Well, the answer is you just don't drop Blood Pact. Now, I guess the other thing is maybe he wants to play around his Earth Monster a bit here. He can also go for another Blood Pact very, very easily. Sack a couple of villagers, get an Atochli out. It's 40 favor, and then he's good to go. But Vega now building up the units. The Yumi Horse Archers coming in up onto this spot. They will be able to deal with those... Oh, actually, will they? 5-speed Yumi Horse Archer. That's a cavalry unit, mind you, and this unit does a ton of damage versus them. Versus a 5.3 speed Thalmani Spearman. Of course, they will be able to get a little bit of pot shots off, but as soon as Keto is ready to engage this, he will kill this unit. You do need to ensure you've got the samurai and everything else loaded up in order to deal with all that stuff. Now, we will see the Noble's Huts coming down for Keto as he's going to start moving into his Eagle Warriors, which at least I imagine he will be, which will deal with the Yumi Horse Archers very, very, very nicely, and that's exactly what is going to be happening. Another Yatochli is going to be coming in for the second round. Of course, Vega here could consider, at this point now, to drop his Talent Center. He could also consider to drop 3 or 4 extra Miko. He's got only 1 in at the moment. And there goes the Earth Monster. I think this God Power is absolutely insane. I honestly think this God Power is one of the strongest heroic age God Powers in the game right now. It takes all the units. You want to run away. Half your units get locked in onto this position to basically have to fight. Again, they all get sent out with basically no HP as well for whatever reason. And Vega says, hang on, let's come back in here to take another fight. No, no, no. You want to bail. You have to bail. This is a bail or fail sort of situation here. As Vega will pull back into his main base. We see some Shinobi coming in. We see some Daimyo coming in. We see the Juragumo coming in as well to spend just a little bit of that favor. I'm not exactly sure I understand that spend of favor from Vega. Most of the time I say myth unit, good unit. But if your opponent's got 7, 8 heroes out and you're just going to build 1 myth unit, especially not a value, like a big value myth unit. Maybe I can go into explain exactly what I think about all that in a little bit, but the Ayatochli coming in, that's going to take down the castle. Blood Pact in. Units on the front here are melting as the Shinobi on the back line getting some good value here. Warrior Priests getting converted in as well as the Daimyo trying to take out that Ayatochli. You just don't kill this bad boy. He's got so much HP. But the rest of the units are falling here as Keto not able to win this fight. The army quality for Vega is incredibly high right now. Take a look at the armory situation. I think this is... Wait, I got to click over here. There's only 1 tier, flint whip weapons. So the armory differential here is gigantic, which is the big difference maker at the moment. As we will see some Sean ones coming through. This is a really, really big unit to include. I think it has been nerfed several times over. It's still really, really strong. And we'll see another castle coming up as Vega moves over onto this gold mine. I think if Keto timed that a little bit better, instead of attacking this position, he could have been looking to attack a different spot. For example, this castle, this position. And then he actually gets some damage done onto the economy of Vega. But Vega is just pulling so far in front at the moment. He is in a ridiculous position in order to carry this game through. But the movement into Eagle Warriors in order to deal with Horse Archers is going to be very, very difficult to deal with now. Also, it is 2 TCs up for Keto, but a beautiful raid from Vega gives him more time to sit on his 1 Talent Center while he does grab that 2nd Talent Center. The other thing here that is actually quite interesting would be don't go the Talent Center, go Mythic Age, and then go the Talent Center for full advantage inside of Divine Prefecture. Go Orkuni Nushi here. That being said, I do imagine that Vega is going to be going for, Watatsumi. This god is just... It's just too much synergy for Tsukiyomi to ignore most of the time. Stronger Horse Archers. They're already really strong with Fujin as well as Tsukiyomi boosting them up. The Shinobi get that Seaside Infiltrators as well. You get Omyodo for the stronger warrior, not warrior priests, Omyoji, the stronger heroes. And you're just in a, it just makes perfect sense. Orkuni Nushi, on the other hand, basically doesn't give you anything outside of extra god power usages, which is really important. You get the free full iron, so it's a tempo play. Gives you the Divine Prefecture, which helps you build units faster, as well as get your villages up to 100 villages and a trade route started very, very quickly. There's a lot of really, really big boosts there, as well as the very powerful on Meraki. But yeah, I think Watatsumi is just going to always be better. The other thing here is that God power is basically an erase your opponent's army type thing. We'll see. It has been nerfed. This is a fairly high HP army, so it's going to be able to be somewhat useful here. We've also got that string of hearts coming through to help take out buildings and all the other good stuff. Meanwhile, Vega coming in will look to take the fight. Sees all the units here. Tajipla is in to get some nice damage on the back line as the Yumi Horse Archers do pull back. Naginata Riders on top of the Eagle Warriors here. However, the Shinobi are facing directly in to the Shorn ones, but that front line does end up... No, the front line does not end up melting. I think this fight has gone relatively equal here. As now the Yumi Horse Archers are in, and there's really just not enough... Funnily enough, there's just not enough value here for Vega to want to click Dragon Typhoon. Had Vega sort of just jockeyed back and forth for 30 seconds, he would have killed off the entire army here. But he took the fight a little bit early. Probably could have bailed on the gold mine, sacked the castle, and then pushed or something like that. He would have killed off the entire army, been at full pop here, and had an overwhelming advantage. However, that doesn't really matter. It's asymmetrical bows coming in, so these Yumi Horse Archers are going to be really strong. Of course, the Eagle Warriors are getting pumped out by Keto. He's got to get these extra noble huts down. He's placed them, so he might be clicking on select all noble huts and then not realizing they're built because he's got 6 units queued up, but he doesn't have his noble huts down. He is missing his upgrades for conscripts here as well, so the units are training a little bit slower than he might like, as now the Tlalmani Spearmen are coming in as well. And Vega says it's time to fight. He does still have this god power, and he will drop this, but there's just not that many units here. And they're right next to a tower as well. That being said, dropping down to 100 population here as the Dragon Typhoon moving up to the top side, picking off some walls and all the other good stuff. Not the best usage of that god power. I could go on my god power rant here. I went on a rant yesterday on stream about how much more fun the game would... No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to do it. If you want to see my rant, you can go watch the stream yesterday, or you can ask in Twitch chat. Sorry, not Twitch chat, in YouTube comments. If what I'm talking about, maybe I'll fill you in the YouTube comments. It's not a time or place for random rants. All right, up onto this side, we got the Yumi Horse Archers popping out over here. Going to be taking down those warrior priests and all the other good stuff. Town Center now coming up for Vega as well, as he's claiming his 4th Town Center. He is well and truly in the lead here. He can look to get himself his iron upgrades, which will help him get up to Bushido tier 4. For some reason, he's not getting them, though. I don't really understand what the holdup is. It's super worth it just to grab those upgrades, just for the Bushido. Is he missing other stuff? He's also missing some upgrades in the economic guilds. The economic guild there. Watermill and everything else. So yeah, he could definitely be at Bushido tier 4 here. And he does get himself out the Onmyoji at the moment. This has been nerfed. It's been made into 4 population. It should be 4 population. It's a 300 cost unit. 300 cost unit at 3 population just doesn't make sense, right? I think we can all agree that that's CTO. Of course, I'm saying 250. You see 250 gold, 5 favor. I see 50 resources worth of favor. But still, even if you count the favor as 2.5, like, right? Like 1 favor is, well, you count half is what I count. If you count it as 5 favor is 225 resources. It's still a 275 resource unit, which is, by all metrics, a 4 population unit. That is if the stats actually back up the unit, which I think they do. Anyways, nonetheless, castles coming up all over the place for Vega to secure these bottom gold mines. You can also go for a trade route started. And he's now getting his upgrades. I'm kind of interested in exactly how much Bushido you get from this stuff, as I have no idea what got blood pacted there, but I think it got picked off very, very quickly. As the Vega units do actually end up getting massacred here. I'm not sure what's going on his side, but he just lost everything. Oftentimes, the best way to play when you're on 4 town centers is actually to not take a fight until you get to 260 pop. You just want to push your opponent down and hold until you have that pop. Your opponent just can't win those fights. But Vega takes that fight 1 before he hits that Bushido tier 5. There he goes. He's up to tier 4 because his upgrades came in. Now he's got champion. He just took the fight a little early. I'm not sure what that was. A little bit of a throw. Skiddo might be able to start working towards bringing this game back in, but he does kill the settlement, so that makes Kido's life a little bit harder, gives a little bit more time over to Vega to spam out some units. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. Does he get himself the upgrade for the Shinobi? No. No upgrade for the Shinobi just yet. I want to see Seaside. I've seen it once now, and I'm just like, Seaside Infiltrators is the absolute, like, it's just the pinnacle of Age mythology. It's such a cool thing. As the Shinobi diving in onto the backside, they're so strong at the moment with that champion upgrade, but no real infantry upgrades for them. So even though they're at champion, you can see the Eagle Warriors will be able to beat them. There's only like 3 of them on the Eagle Warriors at the back, so it's a little bit of an unfair fight, but still. Vega trying to pump out the units. Still so much gold in the bank. I wish you'd just find a way to spend that, but not going to happen anytime soon. As the Oyumi coming in, they're going to start trying to take out the town center here. More horse archers on the way, but there are so many Eagle Warriors at the moment that I don't think the Yumi horse archers are even that useful. We just, like, if you go into a huge amount of samurai right now, and that's what Vega's doing, the Eagle Warriors suck versus samurai. They don't do the damage. They are a generalist archer, but they're the worst generalist archer in the game. They're more of a counter archer than a generalist archer, but looks like Kido says that he has fallen too far behind and does tap out. And Huitzilopochtli, the 2300 rated Huitzilopochtli dropping to the Tsukuyomi. Now, I will say, Kido played what I would consider not the meta here. He did not look for the early damage. You don't have to commit to it. This is the thing that I think that is very, very important when playing Huitzilopochtli. You don't have to commit to the early value, the early game damage, but simply like playing as Poseidon or playing as Zeus or playing as Norse, you want to make sure your opponent isn't just walking over and grabbing their second town center naked. This type of an advantage for Vega, for the Tsukuyomi, is so big. And of course, credit to Vega here. He did an amazing job of recognizing that he was in a 2 town center versus 1 town center situation and that he could not defend his second town center and said, no problems, I will just bail out with all my villagers. And he ended up with a very, very large villager advantage, which effectively carried him through and allowed him to convert a villager advantage into a win. Kido almost brought the game back, but just couldn't. I think there's one raid actually that Vega hit, like sort of stamped that comeback out. I think if he didn't get that raid off, then maybe Kido would have pushed this game into more of a late game situation, and maybe got himself up to the 3 town centers. I don't know, but nonetheless, a very well played game from Vega. If you guys enjoyed this one, make sure to follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.